Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Today we bring the Tigers' 10-game homestand to a close, and we do so on a gorgeous afternoon here in downtown Detroit as we welcome you to Comerica Park. It's a gorgeous day for baseball. Final game in this series featuring the Los Angeles Angels and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for the series finale. The Tigers trying to get at least one win in the season series here against the Angels. And one thing we do know for sure, one guy that'll show up today is Miguel Cabrera. He's had a really good month of June.
You know, three small words for Miguel Cabrera, Hall of Fame, because that's exactly where he is headed when he's done wearing this Tigers uniform. He has been absolutely unbelievable going back to last year, winning a Triple Crown. And then, of course, this year, the month of June, has been a tremendous month for Miguel. Miguel is looking to go, if he gets 3 more RBIs, to have 10 consecutive months where he's had at least a .295 batting average and 20 RBIs in a particular month. So he's just an amazing talent and continues to get it done on both sides of the ball for the Tigers.
Miggy won the MVP last year. The guy that was right behind him, many thought would win the award, was Mike Trout, and he is having himself a terrific series by his own right. This guy's a terrific player.
You know, you can't really stop this guy. He can beat you in so many different ways. He has tremendous speed. He's one of the fastest right-handed batters in the game of baseball. He gets down the first baseline in about 3.8 seconds. He also can hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's got tremendous power, 13 home runs already this year, and he has worn the Tigers out in this series to the tune of a .411 batting average, a double, a home run, 5 RBIs, and he makes every single play in the outfield. He's a dynamic young player.
Glad to have you with us today. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios in Shannon Hogan. Coming up here this afternoon, the pitching matchup looks like this. Doug Fisker on the hill for the Tigers, trying to slow down the Halos. Last time Jared Weaver was here, he was a little bit upset. Tigers Angels next. Afternoon here at the ballpark. Doug Fister is on the mound, and we are ready for baseball. The Tigers and the Angels wrapping up this series, and the first pitch of the ball game today is a strike called on J.B. Shuck. 79 degrees our game time temp. Tigers trying to avoid the sweep, and Fister's one strike pitch is on the ground at second base. Right there is Santiago, one up and one away, and here's the starting lineup for the Halos today, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Shuck, Trout, Pujols at the top for the Angels. Kendrick batting cleanup today, followed by Hamilton and Callaspo. You got Brett Hoff, the former Rocky, playing first base. Conger and Ibar wrapping it up. And today's Tigers starter is Doug Fister, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Doug Fister throws a lot of quality strikes, only 15 base on balls this year, and 76 strikeouts. So he's really been commanding the baseball very well all season long.
And he's facing Mike Trout, who's had himself a really good series, 4 for 11 with 5 RBIs. Trout homered the ball game last night, showing bunt, and he takes a strike, 1-1.
Angels hitters will be very aggressive today against Doug Fister because of the fact that he throws so many strikes, and once he does get ahead of you, he's got a couple of pitches he can put you away with, so they'll be trying to attack the first fastballs they see.
Trout looks at a strike on the outer edge. And the count is 1-2.
Good changeup there on the outside part of the plate, and he's pretty much had his way with Mike Trout. Someone needs to slow him down today.
17 RBIs in 16 career games against Detroit. And Fister just missed 2 balls, 2 strikes as the crowd groans on that last call. Upper reaches of the strike zone. 2-2 the count. And here it is. Bouncing ball back up the middle. That's going to get through. It's another hit for Trout. 1 on, 1 out.
For whatever reason this year, Doug Fister has had his issues with right-handed batters. Right-handers hitting 200 points higher against him than left-handers are. Spoke to Doug Jones about this earlier in the season. He said he really wasn't concerned, but once he gets to about 15 starts, then he will get concerned. I don't know why I keep calling Jeff Jones my former roommate, Doug Jones.
That's why. Your former roommate.
Yeah, Doug and I played with the Indians, and we're very good friends.
There's a ball outside to Pujols.
Sorry about that, Jeff.
Well, how about if I call Albert Luis Pujols? Just even it up a little bit.
Did you use the room with Luis?
No, I didn't. There's a quick throw to first, and Trout, who certainly is capable of stealing a base, is out there at the bag at first.
This will be interesting because Fister nearly impossible to run on, but this kid is special.
Ball outside. 2-0. Fister got the quick ground out from J.B. Shuck, then a single by Trout. Albert in the series 2 out of 10 with an RBI. The Angels have won the first 2 games in this series. Tigers have not beaten them yet this year. And a strike called on the outside corner, 2-1.
Looks like Doug has pretty good command today of the outside part of the plate with the fastball and the changeup. A little mini protest there by Pujols. He did not agree with that call there by the home plate umpire this afternoon, Paul Nart.
Now the 2-1. It's rolled toward third, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pujols.
This Angels team, as we pointed out last night, they will ground into a lot of double plays. They've grounded into more than any team in the majors. 80 double plays they've grounded into.
Tigers got a couple of those early in the ball game last night, which seemingly helped out the cause, but the Angels would go on to win that game. They got a double play ball at the bat of Trumbo in the first inning.
They make that 81 grounded into double plays by the Halos batters.
Off the end of the bat, right back into the Angel dugout. 2-2 on Pujols. Trout down there at first base, 19 steals. He's been caught just 3 times. The Tigers have had a lead in each of the first 2 games in the series, but have not been able to hold on. Now Fister ready with the 2-2. And time called. Pujols given time at home plate.
Trout appears to be running. At least it looked like he was going to take off on that 2-2 pitch.
had Fister thrown that ball home. Look at him flinch there. He's on his way.
Wave and a miss. Albert goes down swinging. Fister has his first strikeout of the game.
A real good changeup there by Doug Fister. And that's exactly where you want to miss with your changeup. You want to be at the bottom of the zone because more than likely you're going to get some swings and misses if you're south of the knee.
Here is Howie Kendrick. He's batting in the 4th spot today for Mike Scioscia. And he sends a ground ball to the shortstop. Deep backhanded play. Throw to second. And a nice scoop by Santiago. 4th play ends the inning. Nicely done. Austin Jackson putting his batting gloves on, getting set to lead things off. Tigers starting lineup brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Jackson, Hunter, Cabrera is at the top of the lineup today. Fielder, Martinez, Peralta in the middle. No changes there. You've got Dirks, Pena, and Santiago playing second base in this one here today. They will face the right-handed offerings of Jared Weaver.
Weaver's numbers are not Weaver-like this year. He's spent some time on the disabled list with a broken left arm. He has a 1-4 record, a very high earned run average, 30 strikeouts and 12 walks, and the velocity with his fastball down a tick this year from previous seasons.
A 20-game winner last year, Jared Weaver. Spending time on the disabled list. He is ready to go to work, and here we go. Jackson stands in, and he looks at a ball high, 1-0. Austin 2 out of 7, but he's also walked 3 times in the series and has scored a couple of runs. Here is Weaver's 1-0 pitch, and it's in there as strike 1-1.
When Weaver first came to the major leagues, he could touch 95, 96, 97 with his fastball, and because the velocity was so high, that made his secondary pitches very, very effective. But that velocity right now, anywhere from 85 to 88 with the fastball. And therefore, the off-speed pitches do not have that differential of 10 miles per hour. Therefore, he's been getting hit around a little bit.
Weaver is 30 years of age, out of Northridge, California. Goes 6'7", 210.
He's a slender fellow.
That he is. That one just missed. 2-2.
Here's today's high-speed stat brought to you by Charter Internet, and it's on the velocity of the fastball this year and the last couple of years for Jared Weaver. Those are the average readings on the fastball.
Missed it outside. Count goes full now on Jackson.
So he won 20 games last year, and his average fastball was 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, you know, when you match up those two numbers, something doesn't equate. Or at least how we think the upper echelon pitchers throw. You don't have to throw 95, 97 apparently. Ball inside, and that's ball 4. Weaver upset with himself.
Tim Hortons will sponsor the starting defensive alignment for the Los Angeles Angels. It's Shuck and Trout and Hamilton in the outfield. Up the middle, it's Ibar and Kendrick. Kendrick had the day off yesterday, his first of the season. Hoff is over at first base, his first start of the series. And Callaspo and Conger, the remaining defensive players.
So no Trumbo today for the Angels. Therefore, Kendrick is batting cleanup. Brad Hopp, the former Rocky, is at first base. Here's Torrey batting .307. He's had himself a series against his former teammates. 5 for 9.
Torrey Hunter hitting over 400 this year with Jackson on first base. 13 for 28, and the majority of his hits have gone right through that real big hole on the right side of the infield.
Swing and a miss.
Here's what Torrey has done overall this season. Jackson on base, 13 knocks the opposite way, 8 up the middle, 7 to center. And here's that hole on the right side of the infield that you try to shoot when you have a guy that has some speed on first base. And if you're fortunate enough to do so, Jackson can scoot all the way to third with his speed.
In the air down the right field line. This one heading back to the seats. Hopp is going to watch it sail back out of play.
Looks like Weaver has made a conscious effort through the first couple of batters here today that he's going to pitch aggressively inside.
Oh, and 2. You know, one of the amazing things about this homestand is the Tigers are under 500. They're 4 and 5 on the homestand, yet Jackson, Hunter, and Cabrera have all had huge homestands.
It's all about the pitching.
And that is a great example of it. Now Weaver ready with the 0-2. And it's popped up. Shallow center field. Mike Trout battling the sunlight. One gone. And Jackson holds at first base. Now Cabrera saunters in. Speaking of big homestands, 18 for 36 on this homestand for Miguel. The average at 370. Jackson led the inning off with a walk. He has stolen 6 out of 7 chances this year. Runner bluffing. There's a strike called. 0-1 on Cabrera. Miguel now an 11-game hitting streak in progress. Tigers jumped out to the early lead last night with a couple of home runs in the first inning off Billy Buckner. Ooh, and just back in there standing up Jackson. Weaver last year turning in his best season at 20 and 5 with a 2.81 ERA. Throws that one in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. The ace of the Angels staff, although he broke his arm earlier this year, spending some time on the disabled list, which really derailed the early part of his season. Therefore, the number is not up to the par that we are used to seeing from Weaver. Now the 1-1. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Cabrera to be followed by Fielder. When opposing managers and pitching coaches go over scouting reports, how do you think opposing managers talk about getting Cabrera out?
There's really no way to get him out, to be perfectly honest with you. You have to change, though. He is so smart. He knows exactly what you threw to him the last time he faced you. It could be last year. His baseball IQ is so high that he knows exactly what pitch you got him out with or what pitch he had success against. And if you got him out, you have to change because he'll be looking for that pitch.
2-1 is on the ground. Third base side scooped up there by Callaspo to second one, and the relay is a double play. 5-4-3. We go to the second.
In the outfield, you have Dirks, you have Jackson, you have Hunter. In the infield, you have a bunch of guys that are going to be busy all afternoon long because Doug Fister throws about 70% of his outs are on the ground.
Josh Hamilton will lead it off as we go to the second, and Hamilton looks at a ball outside. 1-0. Callaspo and then Brad Hawk waiting on deck. These are the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up for the Angels, who got a single but no damage to the first. On the outer edge, 1-1 on Josh Hamilton. Came in really scuffling, but he's perked up in this series. 4 for 9. He has scored 3 runs. And maybe part of the reason is he just loves hitting in this ballpark. Big swing there by Hamilton. 1-2. 367 career here at Comerica Park. Most of those numbers being put up as a Texas Ranger. Now Fister with the 1-2. Bouncing in as Pena blocks it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tigers in desperate need of a quality start out of their starting pitcher today, and they have not had many in the prior 9 games on this homestand. And that's one of the reasons why they need a W today to get to 500 on this current 10-game homestand. Numbers not pretty. 704 earned run average. They've given up a lot of runs. They haven't pitched that many innings. And therefore, that bullpen, the middle relief, has been taxed.
Fly ball in the air towards center field, and there is Jackson calling for it. Hamilton is out, 1 gone.
Jim Leyland went from about a 3-week span there where he couldn't find any work for Pekonen and guys like Darren Downs, and all of a sudden, and when your starters don't go out there and give you the length that you need them to give you, and then you really have to overuse some of those guys.
Usually works that way. Streaks come to an end. The Tigers would typically have a quality start every single night, and that has turned a little bit. Here is Callaspo, and he looks at ball 1. In fact, Fister had a streak of 5 consecutive quality starts come to an end in his last outing against the Red Sox. Doug gave up 6 runs in that game in 3 1/3. 1 ball, 1 strike. Callaspo batting .268, enjoying an 11-game hitting streak, the longest by any Angel this year. And he drives this one on a line to right field, straight at Torrey for out number 2. Well, perhaps some help is on the horizon.
Sanchez, about 11 a.m. today, simulated game, and it all went well. And apparently, in a couple of days, he's going to be headed down to Florida to pitch in a real game.
Sanchez throwing 40 pitches today. He is hopeful of throwing 60 on Monday, and then continue the progression. There's a strike called on Brad Hawpe. But there was no doubt before Sanchez went on the disabled list, he was pitching as well as anybody in the American League. Certainly would garner all-star consideration with the numbers he was putting up. There's another strike, 0-2 on Hawpe.
And still might have an opportunity to go to the All-Star game if he comes back and pitches before that and pitches well.
Sanchez 2.76 ERA. 6 wins. 1-2 on Hawpe. Fister, as he normally does, working quickly, so Hawpe steps out on him. And Conger waiting on deck. And the 1-2. Inside and high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. When he was over in the National League, Hawpe had some really good years with the Rockies. Missed the inside corner from 0-2. We go to 3-2. In fact, one year Brad Hawpe had 116 RBIs with the Rockies. That was 07. And the 3-2 bouncing in, ball 4. It'll roll away and right to the Angel dugout. It's a 2-out walk. First walk of the game for Fister. So he got ahead of Hawpe, but he ends up losing him, and now he has to deal with Hank Conger. Mike Scioscia, 2-time manager of the year in the American League. It's been tough sledding the last couple of years. The Angels haven't made the playoffs in a couple of seasons.
A lot of pressure down there in that dugout.
Switch hitting catcher Hank Conger looks at a ball
to get back to the postseason.
But his numbers against Detroit awfully good, 75 and 45. Big swing there by Conger.
Fister has a real good changeup today and continues to feature that pitch, the left-handers and the right-handers. You can see it in his hand. It's a circle change.
Strike called, 1-2. Conger took it on the inside part of the plate. Back behind the plate today, Iannetta caught the ball game last night for the Halos. A little swing back action there, and Fister got the benefit of that call. Here's the 1-2. Popped up foul, back out of play.
Fister gets as much east to west movement on his fastball as any Tiger starter. He's got that swing back fastball we just saw. He'll also cut the fastball in on the hands of the left-hander. Over the top, straight down curveball, which is a very effective pitch for him because he's so tall and throws from over the top.
Doug in search of his 7th win of the season, 3.66 ERA. It's in the air down the right field line. It's going to hook though and go back out of play. 1-2 on Conger. Former #1 pick of the Angels. I don't see too many high school catchers go in the first round, but that's what Conger did. Southern California. And again, the 1-2 ripped to right field. It's going to drop. Base hit right in front of Torii Hunter. Here comes Torrey's throw to third base. It's going to be late. Hawpe had intentions of getting there no matter what, and he did.
Another off-speed pitch to Hawpe, and Hawpe appeared to be waiting on this one. Hit a solid single in the right field. Torii Hunter for you kids at home, when you do throw that ball to one of the bases and you really don't have a chance at getting that base runner, you need to make sure you keep it down so your shortstop can cut it off. And by doing so, you make sure that runner who's on first base doesn't get to second base to get himself in a scoring position.
We'll bring up Erick Aybar now with 2 outs. Angels threatening here in the second, and Aybar takes ball 1.
This Angels team has been relentless against Tigers pitching with runners in scoring position in this series.
Well, coming into this game, they had 26 hits in the first 2 games in the series. Here's the 1-0. 1-1 on Aybar. Big 2-run homer off Alvarez in the 6th inning last night, turning a 1-run Tigers lead into a deficit. Sprayed foul, 1-2 on Aybar. No score. We're in the top of the second. Angels have a 2-out walk and a single. 1st and 3rd. Hopp and Conger, the base runners for Los Angeles. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's 25 now in this half inning for Doug after a 14-pitch first. That is 2-2 on Aybar. Just got a piece of that one to stay alive. The 8th season now for Aybar with the Angels. He has been rather productive of late. He's driven in 4 in this series. And trying to give his team the early lead here. In the air toward left, slicing. And back out of play. Angels still trying to get back into the race in the American League West. They have 2 teams to climb, Texas and Oakland, but the Angels at 10 back coming into play. They figured with the addition of Josh Hamilton in the offseason, they would be controlling the West. Boy, Aybar just finds a way to stay alive. Meanwhile, Texas and Oakland duking it out at the top of the West. You know, Houston 30 wins, not really as bad as we thought they might be this year.
They are not. They've been pitching pretty good.
Bo Porter's done a terrific job with the team that really doesn't have a lot of frontline talent. Ground ball this time, he leaves it in play, and Fisker will cover for the out to end the inning. They threaten but do not score, and we go to the bottom of the second. Part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Dodge. The Dodge event is going on now. Come see what's new and get a great deal on a new Dodge vehicle. And by Hellman's Mayo, bring out the best. It is a warm, gorgeous afternoon right now here in the Motor City. As we go to the bottom of the second, we are scoreless. The series finale here. Angels have won every game in the season series. Tigers have one last shot at him here. Prince Fielder will lead it off. Then Victor Martinez and Johnny Peralta. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate to Prince, who is 3 for 7 in the series. Picked up his 60th RBI of the season in last night's ball game. Fouled back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
It just appears that everywhere Prince goes, he plays in the shadow of another superstar. He did that in Milwaukee when they had Ryan Braun, and of course the Tigers have Miguel Cabrera. As we take a look at the shift the Angels are playing, and with Prince in the batter's box. Oh,
wow. Way out of the strike zone. Prince with a flat-footed swing. 1 gone. First strikeout for Jared Weaver. Bring in Victor Martinez. Victor 2 out of 9 in the series. A couple of RBIs. Got a double. Weaver missed the outside part of the plate. 1 ball, no strikes on Martinez. A spin in a breaking ball, 1-1. As part of his best big league season last year, in which Weaver won 20 games, he also threw his first career no-hitter. That was in May of last year against the Minnesota Twins. And that was the first no-hitter thrown at Angel Stadium since the days of Nolan Ryan in the mid-70s. And he has really racked up a lot of really impressive stats.
Nice bio there on Mr. Weaver.
A couple of years ago led the league in strikeouts with 233. Here's the 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Johnny Peralta waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 offering. Line drive to center, base hit. Tigers have their first hit of the game. It's a 1-out single for Victor Martinez.
That is something that Weaver can't afford to do today, with the velocity being down just a little bit this year. 3-1 count. 4-seam fastball right down the middle, sitting on a tee for Victor Martinez, and he rips it right back up the middle.
Tigers had a walk in the first, now a single here in the second. Johnny Peralta will stand in. And he checks in at .320, which is good for 6th best in the American League in the average column. Good block by Conger, holding Martinez. Victor not very much speed down there at first base. Peralta had the walk-off on Thursday against Boston. His big hit on this homestand. There's a line drive to left. That'll drop. Base hit. Martinez will cruise into second and stop there, and the Tigers have something going now. 2 on, 1 out. And it brings up Andy Dirks. Dirks right now enjoying a 6-game hitting streak. He's had a couple of hits in this series. And he foul tips it into the glove of Hank Conger. 0-1. Dirks getting the start out in left here this afternoon. Tigers have shoveled a few guys in that position this season. Tuiasosopo, Garcia, Dirks. The 0-1 is a strike call. Now it's 0-2. Andy with a silent protest as he stares down at the dirt. Weaver has 1 strikeout so far. That was Prince to start this inning. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Up again and out of the strike zone, and Dirks goes fishing. 2 gone.
And basically every single pitch that Dirks saw from Weaver, and it was out of the strike zone.
Here's Brian Pena with 2 outs. Pena's been solid all season long with the bat. He's at .297 now. And he buckles his knees with a strike. 0-1 breaking ball. Brian with a 5-game hitting streak coming into play today, trying to deliver a 2-out hit. Singles by Martinez and Peralta. The 0-1. Alex Avila still rehabbing down in Toledo. I think Alex had a couple of doubles in yesterday's ball game with Toledo.
That's good to see, because his first few at bats he didn't have any results. But a lot of times when you send down a guy with a proven track record, and Alex does have a track record of having success up here, you don't worry so much about the at bats when they're in the minor leagues as far as hits and outs made are concerned.
Well, I think Alex had started 1 for 12 in that rehab assignment, so yesterday's good showing at the plate certainly should give him some confidence. 2-1 on Pena. Big swing there, and the count's 2-2. He was out in front.
A good breaking ball. Better location here for Weaver with this bender. It's down at the bottom of the zone.
Two on, 2 out. We're in the second. No score. And the 2-2. Line drive, right field, base hit. Martinez being waved around. He will come around to score. Brian Pena delivers with 2 outs. 1-0 Tigers.
Weaver continued to pitch Pena away, and Pena finally looked out there and got himself a 78-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch and was able to hit it right off the end of the bat. And there's that changeup grip. And a solid single in the right field for Pena.
Pena gets his 14th RBI. The Tigers a 2-out run, and they lead 1-0. He's going to bring up Santiago. Runners at first and third. And Ramon looks at a strike. 0-1.
And Tigers are going to have to continue to score runs throughout the game. They have had leads in both games of this series, and of course the Angels have gone on to win both of those contests.
And they led 2-0 yesterday. Then Trout tied it up with a home run. Ibar then put them ahead for good with a home run in the 6th.
Jim finding very difficult time this year to get Santiago into games. Infante playing every single day and having a very successful season, as is Peralta at shortstop.
The 0-2. Got him, strike three. Santiago punched out of there, and the inning is over. 3 strikeouts for Weaver. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Arby's. Try Arby's new Market Fresh Turkey Bacon Florentine Sandwich. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here at the ballpark, the Tigers have taken the 1-0 lead on the 2-out RBI hit by Brian Pena. And Doug Fisker will go back to the hill now in the top of inning number 3. J.B. Shuck will lead things off. Top of the lineup for the Angels. Shuck, Trout, then Pujols. JB is 0 for 1 with the ground out. Fisker's 1-0 pitch is lifted back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Doug is only 3 out of 10 in first pitch strikes. He's ready with the 1-1. Here it is. Fouled back 1-2. Shuck now 5 for 10 in this series. He's had 4 straight multi-hit games. And a bouncer to the first baseman. It'll be Prince taking it himself. 1 out. They join us again tomorrow. The Tigers heading to Tampa off to Florida to take on the Rays. Coverage begins at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers Rays tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Look who's going to be on the mound tomorrow.
Maxwell, he's been dirty this year. He will be going to win his 12th game this year. He hasn't lost. A very good earned run average, power fastball, and outstanding secondary pitches all year for Max.
Looking forward to it. And you should too. There's a strike called on Mike Trout.
If you go back to last year, Max's last 20-22 starts, there's been no better pitcher in the American League. No one.
No, literally. Trout singled back in the first. Pulled foul.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking that the guy that has the best season from the All-Star game to the next All-Star game should get the nod for the starter for the All-Star team instead of the guy that may be having just a good first 2 months.
Never thought of it that way, but it makes sense. And that's ultimately a full season from All-Star game to All-Star game. That's a pretty good idea. Call Bud Selig after the game. See what he thinks.
You think he'll answer the call?
Negative. Worth trying, though. 1-2 on Trout.
That's one of the reasons why Justin Verlander got the start last year.
Right. That's into right field. Hunter cannot hold on to it. Trout is going to head to second base, and he will pull in there.
They will have a limo waiting for Trout to get him up out of here when this game's over with.
Torrey okay? Yeah, he's all right. He said stay back. Kevin Rand, though, is going to come running out, the head athletic trainer.
Must have lost his breath on the dive here. He had it in the glove.
Yeah, he did.
Then the wrist turns over in the glove and the ball kind of comes out.
Jim Leland is even making the long trek out to right field to make sure his right fielder is okay. Torrey very nearly with a sliding, tumbling play on Trout.
We saw him make a similar catch just a few days ago. Same type of play. And he made that catch. It was to end the ball game a couple nights ago. Skipper getting some sprints in here early today.
I was about to say the same thing. It's the longest he's run in a long time. And he's just now making it back. He's not even huffing and puffing. Kevin Rand also making that long run.
Just to finish that quick thought on Verlander starting the All-Star game last year, there were a couple of other guys that may have been more deserving at the time. But Ron Washington, the manager of the Texas Rangers, who managed the American League, he gave the nod to Verlander based on his body of work the last couple of years.
Well, when you think about it, you're picking all-stars, and obviously the fan voting is the majority of the all-star voting. They pick the starters, but you're right, it is based on really half a season as Pujols drives it foul. There are occasions when sometimes guys will make the all-star team based on who they are and how many years they've played, and the superstars in the game will make it even if they're not having a good first half.
That's what the fans want to see.
Right. And as long as there's fan voting, that's the way it's going to be and should be. Pujols trying to drive in the tying run here. Trout at second. Ball outside, 1-1.
Trout is 3 of 3 in steals of third base this year. But it would be awfully risky to run when you have a guy standing in the batter's box. The pedigree of a Pujols, who has driven in 48 already this year.
Way outside. I was looking up some numbers on Albert before the game, and there are just so many to digest. And we talk about the fact that he had 100 RBIs in 10 of his 11 seasons in St. Louis. He had 10 top 5 MVP finishes. 10.
Yeah, Barry Bonds was winning them. And Pujols very easily could have been winning some of those.
Albert came up with 3 MVPs. But he just about every season was in the top 5 with St. Louis. Here is Fister's 2-1. Ground ball to short. Trout going to try and get the third, and he will. And Pujols is out of there. Time now for the Bernstein Advantage. It brings you the scouting report on a couple of Angels. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you this month. A couple of guys in Trout and Kendrick have done some really good work. Trout with 13 extra base hits. Kendrick batting .376. And Howie with Trumbo getting the day off today is batting cleanup for the Angels. Tying run at third, strike one. A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kendrick hit into a force that ended the first inning on a nice play by Johnny Peralta. Another ground ball to Peralta. This time it's a little bit more conventional to Johnny, and that's going to end the inning. Nothing comes of the Trout double. In this ballpark, 2011. Remember this?
Well, Magglio Ordonez hit a home run against him, and I guess Jared didn't appreciate the way that Magglio watched it. So Carlos Guillen said, "Well, this is how you really watch him." And tempers flared. Weaver kicked out of the game. But what a great baseball game it was that afternoon. You had Verlander pitching for the Tigers. Weaver was pitching for the Halos, and at that time they were neck and neck as far as the Cy Young conversation was. Verlander went on to pitch a spectacular game, and Verlander went on to win the Cy Young that year.
Yeah, the Verlander-Weaver matchup was almost secondary based on what happened, all the fireworks in that game.
And that is one of the best baseball games we've done.
Oh, there's no doubt. It may be right up there. Certainly top three. Jackson starting things off here in the bottom of the third. Tigers have a 1-0 lead, and it's grounded to third. Nice play by Callaspo. They'll throw him out. One away.
Callaspo's made some nice plays down there. Not known for his glove. He's more known for his bat, but you saw him get himself in a real nice athletic position while the ball was in the hitting zone on the balls of his feet, and that made it real easy for him to make that play. You have to be in a good athletic position to make plays defensively.
That'll bring up Torrey Hunter, who flied out to center field back in the first. 306 batting average for Torrey. And it's in for a strike, 0-1. Last year, Weaver finishing third in the Cy Young voting. David Price won it last year. JV finishing second. Sky toward right. It's going to be a tough play if anybody can get there. Hop cannot get there. Back out of play. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. And as we mentioned, Weaver's name is typically mentioned in the Cy Young conversation every year, but this season it's been different because of the injury. And his numbers have not been Weaver-like. ERA about 4.5. Only one win so far. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Rob, they desperately need Weaver to regain his form if they want to have a chance of melting away that deficit.
Well, you want to know that you have at least that one guy that can go out there and shut down losing streaks. And throughout Weaver's career, he's been that guy.
That is popped straight up. Middle of the infield. Kendrick. 2 gone.
And the Angels tried desperately to re-sign Zach Greinke last year when Greinke hit the free agent market, but Greinke decided to sign with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then once Greinke decided to sign with the Dodgers, that's when they went out and acquired Josh Hamilton.
I don't say much different looking rotation this year. They've had Blanton, Hansen, who was hurt and did not start yesterday, Vargas, Weaver, Jerome Williams has made some starts this year. Miggy looks at strike one.
They don't really have anybody in that starting rotation other than Weaver when he is right that can miss some bats. They've got some guys in their bullpen that can lock the game down. We saw 4 right-handers trot out of that bullpen last night throwing 95 miles an hour and above, but they don't have any of those type of guys in their starting rotation.
Meanwhile, Cabrera wants to know why he's behind in the count 0-2. He didn't like either of those calls by Paul Nart.
There's been a few guys already beefing this afternoon with these strikes Nart has called.
Take that, says Cabrera.
Oh, he's a machine.
Down 0-2. He's going to get himself to second. The ball is kicked in right field by Hamilton.
There is not another right-handed batter in the game that could do as much damage as Miguel could do at driving the balls out of the ballpark, that can take these types of pitches that are down and in and somehow pull the hands close to the body and barrel it up and hit it down in the right field corner. And a phenomenal talent.
There's Hamilton getting to the ball and then kicked it, literally. So the Tigers get a 2-out hit. 19th double of the year for Cabrera. He was going to get to second anyway, despite the kick. Prince trying to knock him home. Fielder struck out back in the second on a pitch way out of the strike zone.
Well, if you're Weaver here with a base open and 2 outs, you don't really want to mess with Prince Fielder. And Victor Martinez, very well respected big league hitter, but not having the same kind of season that Prince has had.
2-0 the count.
Howie Kendrick, the second baseman, he's about 10 steps into the outfield grass. Should Prince hit something on the ground in his direction, he's going to have a real nice opportunity at maybe running it down laterally.
Big 2-0 pitch here. Swing and a miss.
Prince can't help him out, though. He has to understand and recognize the situation. The base open. Weaver not going to give in to him. He swung at ball 3.
.20 breaking ball. Here comes the 2-1 swing and a miss. Looking to throw behind the runner Cabrera, who gets back in there. 2-2.
I don't even know what Miggy was attempting to do here. This pitch is 70 miles an hour. I don't know if Miguel was anticipating that Conger was just going to casually throw the ball back to the pitcher, and if he did, he was going to try to get to third base.
Looked like it. He was well off the bag. Prince thought about it. Thought better of it this time.
If you're wondering about the outfield arms for the Halos, they're not very strong. They only have 8 outfield assists as a team this year. Alex Rios of the Chicago White Sox has 8 assists by himself.
Yes, he
from
does.
The outfield.
Here's the 3-2. Popped him up. Third baseman Callaspo, and that will end the threat. No runs. A double is stranded. 3 in the books. in the fourth inning, and time now for the AT&T trivia question. Who was the last player to have at least 78 RBIs by the end of June? At least 78 by the end of June. Who was the last player to do it? Cabrera has 78. Entering play today is a ball outside. Hamilton 0 for 1. And a ball inside. In the dirt, as a matter of fact. 2 balls, no strikes on Josh. Flat out to center field back in the second. Now Fister with the 2-0 pitch. Rip to right field. Going to get down. Base hit. Hamilton with another hit in the series. That is his 5th of this series. Hey, this July, baseball's greatest stars gather for the biggest event of the summer. The Midsummer Classic returns to New York with home field advantage on the line for the World Series. The 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game live from Citi Field in New York, July 16th. Only on Fox. Tying run is aboard now. That'll bring up Alberto Callaspo. Strike 1 to Callaspo. Lined out to the right fielder. Torrey Hunter back in the second. And Fister backed him out of there.
Count 1-1, and Scioscia, he's one of those managers like Jim Leyland. He will put on a hit and run in counts where you really don't expect him. Also, the fact that Fister throws a ton of ground balls and his team hits into a ton of double plays. It's a nice throw over there by Doug Fister. Fister knows the situation as well. Whoa. 70% of his outs on the ground.
Two balls, one strike. How close was that last one? Close, no cigar. 2-1. Soft line drive into right, base hit. Hamilton on his way to second. And the Angels have something going now here in the fourth. Back-to-back hits. Well, Fister right now does have one thing going for him. He is facing the bottom of the lineup for the Angels. Although the first 2 games in the series, that hadn't meant a whole lot. They got some power out of Ibar in the bottom of the lineup last night. First game of the series, everybody hit. Pop cuts and misses, couldn't hold up. The last season that Hoff was in the big leagues was 2011 when he played with San Diego. Spent 7 years with Colorado. Back in the big leagues this year with the Angels. Another swing and a miss, 0-2. Fister in his first at bat got ahead of him and then ended up walking Hoff. And the 0-2 to the right side and a base hit. Here comes Hamilton rounding third. They'll send him home. Throw is coming to third base. The tag, and he is out there. Tying run scores. The RBI hit by Brad Hoff. Score Hamilton. Callaspo cut down at third base.
Torrey Hunter's racked up a ton of assists in his major league career. Keeps that ball down. One hopper over to third base. Callaspo trying to go first and third, as this Angels team will try to do. And he gets nabbed for the first out of the inning. That is the 6th outfield assist this year for Torrey.
1 on, 1 out, 1 run in.
Kind of surprised that Callaspo would challenge the arm of Torrey Hunter. It's not like he doesn't know he can throw. He played with him the last few years.
He lost the challenge. That's the way they play, though, very aggressively. They typically have. As Conger cuts and misses.
He's looking at his coach, so apparently Dino Ebel's telling him to come on over.
It's one of those situations where you're probably better off seeing no Ebel and hearing no Ebel.
Did you?
Dino Ebel. That was sitting on a tee right there. 0-2 the count.
You working at the Comedy Store tonight?
No, that's the last thing I need to be doing.
Starring Mario and Pimba in St. Pete, Florida.
No balls, 2 strikes on Hank Conger. 1 run, 6 hits for the Angels. 1 run, 4 hits for the Detroit Tigers. In the dirt, Pena able to block it. So Fister now has watched his pitch count pile up a bit. He's up to 71 here in the 4th inning. And still has only 1 out. Conger had a single in the 2nd inning. Missed inside off Fister. He doesn't often do this, but he was staring in against Paul Nart, the home plate umpire.
Paul Nart already the focus of attention here today. And a lot of calls that should have been strikes not given the strike call.
Swing and a miss. Didn't matter there as Conger goes down swinging.
Good look at that curveball that Doug Fister features. Just 73 miles an hour.
Now it's the number 9 hitter, Eric Ibar. Ooh, inside as Fister backs him out of there.
Both Fister and Jared Weaver, who is pitching for the Angels today, both guys pitching aggressively inside. Neither has a fastball that has touched 90 miles an hour so far today, but it's very important if you don't have the big fastball to pitch inside on occasion to keep the hitters off your off-speed pitches when you do want to go away with those pitches. It prevents them from diving out over the plate.
Ivar bounced out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Angels have tied it up on the RBI hit by Brad Hopp. That'll get back out of play. 1-2 on Eric Ibar. Pretty productive series for Ibar. 4 hits, 4 RBIs, including a homer. Fister had Hopp behind in the count 0-2, and he ends up singling in a run. That ties the game here in the 4th. Pulled foul down the first base line. Wind is starting to pick up a little bit. An otherwise glorious day here. Temperature up to 81. The guy's got himself a souvenir. His day is complete. To center field on a line right at Jackson to end the inning. However, they tie it up. 3 hits, 1 man left. fourth inning, and the Chicago White Sox make their first visit to Comerica this season, July the 9th through the 11th. Tickets are on sale now for all 3 games, and here's what you do. You call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. In the meantime, we have business to take care of here today. The Tigers and the Angels all tied up. Final game in this series. Tigers trying to avoid the sweep. It is not often you get swept in the season series, but that is what is facing the Tigers here today. Jared Weaver back to the hill. Victor Martinez leads it off. And it's in for strike one on Victor, who singled and scored. 1 run, 6 hits for the Angels. 1 run, 4 hits for Detroit. Victor now at 230 in the average column. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was a strike right there.
Weaver showing little disappointment in that call, at least outwardly. That'll bounce in. 2 balls, 1 strike. Weaver broke onto the scene back in 2006, and he broke onto the scene with a bang. He was 9-0 to start his first big league season with the Angels, and eventually finished that rookie season at 11-2. He wasn't going to win the Rookie of the Year that year, though. That belonged to Justin Verlander.
He was a dirtbag. He played his college ball at Long Beach State.
A school that has produced a lot of major league talent. See another one coming up in Tampa. Longoria. There's a walk. Leadoff man is on as Victor reaches for the second time. And that's the first walk since the first batter that Weaver faced, Jackson, back in the first inning. Now Jhonny Peralta. .384 in his career against Weaver.
He owns him.
That is pretty close to ownership. Home run included in those numbers. Single back in the second. Peralta came into this game batting .350 here at home. The Tigers have quite a few guys that have done extremely well at home this year. Runner going on a hit and run, and is popped up. Foul ground, first base side for Brad Hawpe. 1 out.
Usually if a guy has those kinds of numbers, 382 against a particular pitcher, you don't necessarily see the hit and run. But that had to be the hit and run with Martinez vacating first base. Usually you'll allow that guy to put himself in a real good hitting count to do the damage that he's done prior to that starting pitcher.
We'll bring up Andy Dirks. Andy struck out back in the second. One of 3 strikeouts that Weaver had in the second inning. The inning the Tigers got their run. Pena singled in a run with 2 outs. And Dirks watches it float outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Have you noticed where the fastball velocity for Weaver has been today? Mostly
86.
That's it, huh?
87. He hasn't gotten much above 87.
Now the 1-0. 2-0 on Dirks. Weaver has scattered 4 hits, 3 of them coming in the 1-run second for Detroit. And Cabrera got a double back in the third, but did not score. Outside, now it's 3-0.
89 has been the top fastball for Weaver. 70 his lowest reading. We think Xfinity for the radar readings on Jared Weaver today.
Strike called on Dirks. 3-1 on Andy. What does Mr. Foxtrax say? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Conger was able to snatch that ball up but clearly missed low. Here's the 3-1 offering. Check swing foul, back out of play. 3-2. Full count with 1 out. Think Jim starts the runner here?
I would. Weaver not the strikeout artist that he used to be. I would not be afraid to start Victor here.
And there he goes. Drilled down the right field line. That ball is going to be fouled. And he got out in front of that one. Martinez would have scored easily. He was on the move. 5-3 ball counts for Jared Weaver already in this game. Runner going and a swing and a miss. Here comes the throw to second, and he's going to be a dead duck. The old strike him out, throw him out. Inning over. We go to the fourth. Came in with a 2.5 game lead over the Cleveland Indians, and Kansas City 5.5 back. Minnesota and the struggling Chicago White Sox, who find themselves 9.5 games back. Don't forget the White Sox will be coming to town this coming July the 9th through the 11th. You can get your tickets for that Sox series. 866-66 Tiger is the phone number. The White Sox coming in for the first time this year,
right before the All-Star break.
Pretty amazing.
That Indians team all of a sudden playing some real good baseball again under their manager Terry Francona.
Well, that has to be what's going on there, because they typically the last couple of years have gone off to quick starts and then just kind of faded. They look like they might have some staying power this year. J.B. Shuck is leading it off as we play in the 5th inning. Shuck, Trout, Pujols. Bouncing ball right side of the infield. Santiago gobbles it up. And out is Shuck. He's 0 for 3 in this game. 1 away in the 5th inning. Fister at 81 pitches thrown here as we play in the 5th. It'll be Trout stepping in. Mike Trout double and a single. 6 for 13 in this 3-game set. Ball 1. We were talking right a couple of nights ago about how Trout was selected the 25th selection in the first round. So a lot of teams passed on him. Do you think part of that was the fact that he's from New Jersey and it wasn't from one of the warm states?
I think that has a lot to do with it. Doesn't get seen as much as some of the kids from Texas, Florida, California.
And we were talking to David Chad, who heads up the scouting department for the Tigers, and we were talking to him about that during the draft. He said, yeah, it's harder to scout those kids who don't play as many games. Weather is terrible. And there's another hit for Trout as the lines went off the glove of Johnny Peralta.
He's fun to watch play. He's not necessarily fun to watch beat up on your squad, but if you're a baseball fan, you have to enjoy watching a talent like Mike Trout, who gets a changeup up in the zone and hits it off Johnny Peralta's glove.
Three for 3, 7 hits for the Angels. And now they deal with Pujols, who is 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out.
19 steals this year for Trout, who is standing on first base, but Fister nearly impossible to steal on.
Trout hadn't even thought about it. Caught only 3 times this year.
He does have the green light, so he can go whenever he wants to go. But Doug Fister less than 1 second of getting the ball out of his hand into the catcher's glove.
Cabrera to second, one relay to first is a double play. 5-4-3 as Fister gets the ground ball when he needed it. There's Cabrera, Santiago fielder. Tigers baseball presented by Del Taco.
Summary of the scoring so far this afternoon. The Tigers got on the board first in the second inning, a 2-out knock by Brian Pena into right field. Then Brad Hawk got his team on the board. That was the 4th inning. He singled into right field, driving home Josh Hamilton, who had singled to lead off the inning.
Well, we'll see what the Tigers can do here in the 5th. And this ball game all tied at 1 run apiece. It'll be Pena, Santiago, and then Jackson facing Jared Weaver. He gave up a walk, but no damage done when Martinez was caught stealing on a strikeout throw him out. And Pena showing bunt. Ryan delivered with 2 outs in the second, an RBI single to put the Tigers on top 1-0. Here's Weaver's 1-0. Spins in a breaking ball strike. 1-1 the count. 68 miles an hour on that last pitch.
When this game started, Brian Pena had his socks up high around the knees his first at bat. I'm going to have to ask him after the game today, why do you change? He got a base hit. He drove in a run. This is today.
Reverse superstition.
Hands laying high. And now down.
He's been wearing them high the last couple of times he's played.
He has?
Yeah. But now they've gone back down. At least I think he has. Delving into the mind of the superstitions of Major League Baseball players can be dangerous. Here's the 2-2. That one missed 3-2. Or interesting at the very least. Pena now with 14 RBIs. He sits safely in his last 6. Here's Santiago waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. That's in the air. Shallow right field. Who's going to get there? Anybody? Hamilton will. 1 out of the 5th inning. By the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game, presented by the new Detroit Tigers M&M McFlurry, only at McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, then a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Ever had one of those yet?
I have not.
No, I haven't either. It sounds really good right now. On a warm day. Here's Santiago. Strike 1 on Ramon. Strikeout victim back in the second. One of 4 strikeouts for Weaver. Weaver's a guy that, as we had mentioned, has led the league in strikeouts, but he really hasn't had too many big strikeout games this year. 7 is his high. Did that against the Dodgers at the end of May. The 0-2 lifted in the air. That's straight at the left fielder, J.B. Shuck. 2 gone. Now Jackson. So I guess it kind of gets back to that fastball velocity decrease that we've seen over the past few years.
Well, when he was throwing 95 miles an hour, his breaking balls were right around 82, 83, 80, 45. Which is a 10-mile-per-hour differential. And when you're throwing those pitches out of the same window with the same arm slot, that's how you keep hitters off balance.
Do you think guys, even the hard throwers, especially the hard throwers early in their career, when they figure out they're losing that velocity, figure out how to pitch a little bit better?
The smart ones do. The guys that are able to make that transition smoothly.
Here's the 1-0. Jackson lines one of the air to left. Shuck going back, making the catch right at the edge of the warning track in a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Weaver. Today, the Tigers on this homestand, Rod, just have not been able to pitch as well as they have in their previous home games or really play defense.
Well, look at the previous. 22-10 record in their previous 32 games, 3.39 ERA. The opponents hit just 226 against them, and they were catching the ball. Now, this current homestand, boy, they have scuffled.
Tigers had 6 of those errors in one game. That was the opening game in this series against the Halos. Howie Kendrick cuts and misses as we start things off here in the top of the 6th. 1 run, 7 hits for the Angels. Only 4 hits for the Tigers.
Despite this being a poor homestand for them, the team still has a tremendous amount of confidence. And they know they are still the class of this division and the American League Central. And they know things will get better. Jim Leyland, real good leader down there at making sure this team able to turn the page and look to the next day.
Here's the 0-2. That's probably one of the biggest challenges I think that managers face, trying to navigate through the ups and downs of what is a 162 game season when people start freaking out where you got to keep a steady hand.
When the season starts, you know there's going to be 162. You know you're going to lose at least 62 of those games. Just a matter of when you do it.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Howie Kendrick. 32 hits in the month of June for Kendrick. Here's the 2-2. Almost hit him. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Angels will be on their way to Houston after this game is over. The Tigers, of course, heading down to Tampa St. Pete to start a long road trip. It's kind of a strange road trip for the Angels. Detroit, Houston.
They can't beat Houston either.
No. 3-2. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Santiago with the backhand. Kendrick is out, 1 gone. Here is that AT&T trivia question again. You had plenty of opportunity to think about this. And the question, if you missed it, who was the last player to have at least 78 RBIs by the end of June? He's in the ballpark. It's not Cabrera, it's Hamilton. 80 back in 2008 when he finished with 130 that year. 0-1 on Josh Hamilton. Driven down the right field line. That ball will hook and it will go foul. 0-2. It wasn't long ago when Hamilton and Cabrera were hooked in a duel to win the MVP. That was the 2010 season. As it turned out, a lot more thought Hamilton should be the MVP than Cabrera, even though Miguel's power numbers, RBI numbers were a little bit better than Hamilton's.
Mickey played just about every day, too. Hamilton missed quite a bit of time that year.
Hamilton got 22 first place votes that season. Miggy got 5. He'll shoot that one toward left, but it's going to go foul.
A lot of people don't understand that Miguel in that season 2010 finished 2nd in the batting race that year. And of course he went on to win the batting race in 2011 and 12 and the leader in the clubhouse this year. I mean, we could be talking about a guy with potentially 4 consecutive batting titles.
Yeah, he's in line to win his 3rd this year, which would surprise no one, but 4 in a row would be something. The 0-2 inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think Freddie Gonzalez said it best when the Atlanta Braves were here. He's the manager of the Braves. He said on a nightly basis, Miguel Cabrera simply is the best player on the field.
Swing and a miss. Hamilton dispatched. 2 gone.
Today's Whip of the Game is brought to you by Head and Shoulders. And Doug Fister, not many strikeouts today, but he gets one here of Josh Hamilton. It's a 4-seam fastball that's up in the zone that Josh swings right through.
3rd strikeout of the game for Doug Fister. Here's Callaspo. To center field, right at Jackson. It'll be an easy inning for Doug. 1, 2, 3, they go. We are headed to the bottom of the 6th. And the Tigers trying to get to Jared Weaver in the 6th inning. Hunter Cabrera fielder. They've got the heavy artillery coming up. Weaver had a 1-2-3 fifth. Pitch count pretty good shape, and he delivers ball 1 to Torrey. Fly ball pop up for Hunter in this game. Batting .304. Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball 1 strike.
So far pretty good outing by Weaver. Despite the velocity being down, he's changed speeds very well. He's mixed in curveballs, cutters. He's elevated the fastball. His last few starts have not been good. Lots of crooked numbers, but holding his own this afternoon.
Pulled foul down the left field line. 1-2 on Torrey. Hunter in his days with the Angels, each of the last 5 years, he had 20 or more home runs in 4 of those 5 seasons.
He was driving in 90 runs a year too for the Halos. Very productive in those 5 seasons.
I had a chance to talk to Mike Scioscia before the game yesterday, and he had glowing things to say about his relationship with the young players on the team. That one is skied a mile high to center. That's one of the young players, Mike Trout, who had a terrific effect on. 1 gone. And we told you the story the other night about how the parents of Mike Trout tweeted as soon as Torrey signed elsewhere how they thanked Hunter. And to me, I mean, how often do you see that happen?
You don't see it very often, but as parents, when you send your teenager off to play pro ball and then they finally get to the big leagues at a very young age, you'd love to have a veteran influence like Torrey Hunter provided for Mike Trout.
That's when they were together in the Angels colors. Ball 1 to Cabrera.
Torrey learned from one of the best. He learned from Kirby Puckett. And Kirby Puckett was a mirror image of Torrey Hunter on the baseball field. Always smiling, very gracious with his time.
2-0.
Good baseball player too.
It's amazing how sometimes your entire career can be sculpted by who you break in with and who your role models are. And Torrey trying to be that type of role model for the younger players in the game. That's a foul ball down the left field line.
Not only is Torrey a role model for his teammates and his younger players, but he does it for the opposing teams too when the young outfielders come into town. Many of them grew up idolizing a guy like Torrey Hunter, who has been one of the better outfielders while he's played.
Here's the 2-1. What would it's like for a player like Torrey when another player in the big leagues comes up to him and says, I used to watch you as a kid.
Lorenzo Cain, center fielder in Kansas City.
And probably thinking, oh boy, I'm that old.
Looks good, 37 years old, in the best shape of his life.
Unbelievable shape. Drill to left field. It's going to get. No! It's caught on a line by Schuck, who makes a terrific play. Had to play deeply, and that's a pretty good play right there.
Took a pretty good route to get to that ball. He took a crossover to the right, gets over there, and makes a real nice grab. If he has the glove on the other hand and he throws right-handed, he might not make that play. But because the glove is on the right hand, he's able to reach out with that hand and make a nice grab to take a double away from Miguel.
Weaver and Cabrera, little exchange. Cabby was smiling though, so it must not have been all that serious. 2 outs. Here's Prince Fielder. And for all of you young aspiring broadcasters out there, don't call that last play like I just called it, because I had that ball dropping in, and Schuck made a nice diving play. Here's the 0-1. Ball high. 1 ball 1 strike.
A lot of elevated fastballs to Prince Fielder here today. He goes up and then he goes right back down to the bottom of the zone with breaking balls.
He got Prince to take one of his, well, ugliest swings I think we've seen Prince take all year.
That's Prince's last at bat with a runner in scoring position and the base open that Prince clearly left the strike zone, as you could see there visually.
2-2.
Fastballs up, changeups, curveballs down.
And the 2-2 pitch inside, 3-2. He got Fielder to swing at a pitch way out of the strike zone in his first at bat.
Fielder's sitting on something off speed now, though, because Weaver's thrown him so many. Weaver's best opportunity to get him out here may be with another fastball.
In the air. Straight away down the middle of the infield, and it's going to be the shortstop Ibar. Another 1-2-3 inning now for Weaver, who has settled in. In 10th to take advantage of the Tigers Summer Fun Pack. Get a ticket, food voucher, and a Tigers t-shirt for only $35. Visit tigers.com/fun to order. Tigers.com/fun. Well, how are these two pitchers doing here this afternoon? It's Fister and Weaver hooked up in a 1-1 ball game. And Jared Weaver has thrown just 88, 100 for Fister. Not a whole lot of walks in this game, but not a whole lot of runs either. Brad Hawpe leads it off as we go to the 7th, and he takes a strike, 0-1. Bottom 3 to face Doug Fister, Hawpe, then Conger, then Ibar. Hawpe has fallen behind in each of his first 2 at-bats, but ended up walking and singling. In fact, he knocked in their run in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Al Albuquerque is heating up in the Detroit bullpen, and Phil Koch has just gotten up as well. There's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. This time they'll get Hawpe as Pena completes the strikeout with a throw down. 4 strikeouts now for Fister. We'll bring up Hank Conger, who was 1 for 2 today. Conger had a single back in the 2nd. Ball outside. Conger back in 2000 was just 12 years old, and he was playing for the Ocean View Little League team that went to the finals of the Little League World Series but lost. Conger at Huntington Beach. Little League World Series, big in Southern California. A lot of years you'll have a lot of those Southern California teams go deep into that Little League World Series. Here's a 2-0, and it's in there.
That's where Tigers hitting coach got his nickname.
Legendary Lloyd.
He's in the Little League Hall of Fame. Did you know that?
I did not. I didn't know there was a Little League Hall of Fame.
He is.
Fly ball right field. Torre backing up, edge of the track. Conger is out, 2 away. 6 in a row retired by Fister.
Fister at 108 as far as the pitches thrown here today. His high is 116. He did that on May 30th against the Pittsburgh Pirates, pitching 7 innings that day.
Here's Ibar.
An easy out here, and Jim may entertain the thought of sending him back out there because he really hasn't pitched in a lot of stress today. Sometimes you can throw 100 pitches and they can be stressful pitches. Not many of his pitches that stressful this afternoon.
No, and his most recent innings have been fairly easy as well. Get a quick out here. I think Jim would certainly entertain sending him back out.
I think Jim would just prefer to bypass the middle relief today and maybe get into the back end of that bullpen. Benoit has not pitched very often in this homestand because the Tigers haven't been winning many games.
0-2 on Ibar. Soft line drive caught by the shortstop Peralta. 1, 2, 3 innings, 7 straight retired by Doug Fister. This is at Comerica Park during Tigers fantasy batting practice August 9th, and hit pitches thrown by former Tigers pitcher Dave Rozema. Call 313-471-2550 or visit Tigers.com. And who knows, Rosie might even teach a karate kick or two.
You remember that, huh?
I do remember that.
He blew his knee out on it, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I saw Rosie a couple of days ago, or about a week ago now, at a benefit dinner, and we kidded him about that. As you look at the numbers on Fister, 7 innings, 1 walk, 4 Ks. So good job tonight, or today, by the Tigers starter. Weaver back out there now in the bottom of the 7th, still tied at 1. Victor Martinez leads it off. Then Peralta, then Dirks. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Pretty good day today for Victor. He singled, scored the Tigers run back in the 2nd, then he walked in the 4th. Which, by the way, was the last base runner that Weaver has allowed in this game. Strike call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Scott Downs, who pitched in last night's ball game, is now up in the Angels bullpen. They had to deal with Tommy Hanson not being able to go last night, so they had a bullpen day. Everybody out of the pen, and they had to piece it together last night, and
they were lights out too.
They were.
And Mike Scioscia went to that bullpen 5 different times. A quartet of right-handers and 1 left-hander. That left-hander was Downs, and they got it done for him. The 4 right-handers, every last one of them, fastballs 95 miles an hour and above.
Pulled foul down the right field line.
That is such a tough ball to keep fair. That cut fastball that's inside off the plate. And Miguel probably does it as well as anybody by pulling the hands close to the body, but it's very difficult to prevent that ball from hooking foul, whether you're batting right-handed or left-handed.
1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Eight straight retired by Weaver. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, second base. Right at Howie Kendrick. 1 out here in the 7th, and that's 9 straight retired now by Weaver. Great day for baseball here in the Motor City. We're coming to you from Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, we are glad you are with us here today. Producer today is Mark Isofano, our director Brian Boss, bringing you Tigers baseball this afternoon and doing a bang-up job as well. Here is Johnny Peralta. That is pulled to left, but it's going to hook foul. Did they catch that ball?
Get some high fives. Must have.
Everybody okay down there? Ball was hit hard.
A little fella got hit in the chops.
Yeah, he did. Here's the 0-1.
Rub some dirt on it. Be all right.
Said the guy in the booth. Protected by the screen behind home plate and the windows here. 0-2. Weaver has been able to keep his pitch count manageable because he hasn't had an at bat of more than 7 pitches in this game. He's about to reach the 100 plateau very shortly here. Dirk's waiting on deck. And the 1-2. Ooh, we try to hold up. It was up and in, and Peralta goes down swinging. Ten straight retired now by Weaver. Andy Dirks has 2 of the 5 strikeouts that Weaver has rolled up here today. And he shoots that one foul back out of play.
Andy getting those fastballs to hit, and just a little off right now at putting the ball in play consistently.
And there you see the pitch count by innings for Weaver, pretty consistent.
No stress at all today for Jared.
Here's the other thing. He's had 7 3-ball counts today, but only 2 of those resulted in walks. Call that a strike. The 0-2. Well, Tigers go 1-2-3. 6 strikeouts. Weaver has set down 11 in a row.
Not a lot of run support by his club. He threw 111 pitches. A lot of those outs were made on the ground. And that's exactly what he does every single outing. 70% of Doug's outs are ground balls. He also mixed in a few strikeouts with some really good breaking balls, change-ups, and elevating the fastball. Outstanding job by Doug Fister here today. 10 ground ball outs, 6 fly outs, 4 strikeouts. That's pretty much what his line looks like every time he toes the rubber.
He will hand the baton over now to Al Albuquerque in the Wallside Windows pitching change.
He'll have to go up against the top of the lineup. Al Albuquerque's numbers this year: 2.60 ERA, 29 strikeouts, 16 walks. Can't afford any free passes here.
Shuck, then Trout, then Pujols in the top of the 8th. Tigers got a run way back in the 2nd. The Angels tied it up with a run in the 4th, and neither team has scored since. So it's up to Albuquerque now here in the 8th inning. Shuck is 0 for 3 as he stands in. Albuquerque rolled up a lot of strikeouts in the minor leagues, 27 punch-outs in 10 outings with the Mudhens this year. And a strike called on J.B. Shuck. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball to first, deep behind the bag, snagged there by Prince, and Shuck is out.
Barely out.
That was really close. He gets down the line, doesn't he?
Well, I don't know if Albuquerque's running full speed either, though. It looked like Al was kind of nonchalant getting over there.
Just got him.
It doesn't get any closer than that.
I guess a tie would be closer. That's about it. Here's Mike Trout. Ball 1. Three more hits for Trout, 2 singles and a double. That's down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Trout, 19 steals this year, takes a couple of pitches from Albuquerque trying to get on base any way he can. He'll take a walk if Albuquerque is willing to give it to him.
Looks like they'll finally get Trout here today. Lacy fly ball to center, and Jackson hauls it in 2 away. You know, one play that we don't want to forget about was the assist that Torrey Hunter had. He was able to get Callaspo at third base. That could have been a really big inning for them, and it was the first out of the inning.
Big play.
And they ended up getting just the 1 run in the 4th.
What do you got on Albert, man? He just doesn't look right to me. Doesn't look healthy. Not moving very well. Looks like he's playing in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. He's just not running well. He's had that plantar fasciitis. And you can see that when Pujols hits a ground ball that is probably going to result in an out, in other words, at an infielder.
Right.
He's actually running on the grass, not the dirt.
Too hard to run on the dirt with that plantar fasciitis?
Apparently. A little bit softer on the grass.
He just doesn't look like himself. And I know he's a proud man and he wants to play every day and live up to that contract that the Angels gave him, but not smiling a whole lot these days. Although having a decent year, he just doesn't look healthy to me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's done so much in this game that even his numbers now, 13 homers, 48 RBIs, for most guys are awfully good. But for Albert, somewhat pedestrian. Is average in the 250s. Balled inside, 3-0. I mean, this is a guy that averaged 40 home runs with the Cardinals.
This is a Hall of Fame player right here.
Yeah, no question.
If he took the cleats off in the bat and walked straight upstairs right now and shut it down, Cooperstown would be calling on him.
Here's the strike, 3-1. He's going to get to 500 home runs. That'll be no problem.
13th round draft choice.
And he walked him. 2-out walk. Albuquerque did not want to do that. Here's Kendrick. Howie 0 for 3. Or then again, maybe he did want it to go. Take his chances here against Kendrick, who has not had a hit today, but batting .318. Ball high. Howie's had one at bat against Albuquerque, and it's resulted in a strikeout. That's in there, a strike. 1-1 on Kendrick.
Albuquerque's got a couple different sliders. We just saw the get me over slider, the one that he wants to throw for a strike. Then he has that one he likes to get a swing and miss on. That one kind of goes down and away from the right-handed batter.
Hell got a couple of quick outs. Then a walk to Pujols. Now he's falling behind Kendrick. Tigers today have managed only 4 hits against Jared Weaver. Checked it, but he went. 2-2 on Howie Kendrick. Did not play last night. The first game he's missed all season long. Got the day off. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Albuquerque comes back to fan Kendrick, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a walk. Nothing comes to the base on balls to Pujols. Park and MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. It's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Tigers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and the proverbial whole lot more. Text at BAT to 31826. So we'll see if the Tigers now can get to the new pitcher. It's in a Wallside Windows pitching change. Scott Downs.
Downs threw 13 pitches last night. 1 1/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, no other blemishes. Not a hard thrower, but he throws tons of strikes. Majority of his pitches are fastballs, but he does mix in a slider or two. Very few changeups for Scott. Good outing by Jared Weaver.
Yeah, Weaver retired the last 11 straight that he faced, and he gives the baseball now to Downs. Pena, Santiago, Jackson due up. There's a strike called. Tigers have Kelly, Garcia, Holiday, and Fonte on the bench. Here's the 0-1. Pena takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bryant. Delivered the Tigers' only run way back in the second, an RBI single. There's Michael Kahn warming up. Bouncing ball to short. Routine there for Ibar. One away. Santiago will not bat, and Fonte has picked up the bat. Now he'll come to the on-deck circuit.
That's why Kahn was up in that bullpen. He's ready if Mike Scioscia would choose to use him against Downs. Against Infante, I should say.
Well, it looks like he's going to stay with him for good reason. 0 for 7 with a strikeout. Righties bat .300 against Downs. Lefties .175.
I guess you could say Omar's due.
Well, Omar trying to get something going here with 1 out of the 8th. Batting .295. He is 1 for 8 with a double in the series. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Infante. Tigers have stranded only 3 today, in large part because Weaver really shut them down after the 3rd inning. 12 straight Tigers have gone down. Omar showing bunt, and now it's a 2-1 count.
It's a good idea there, Omar, to take that pitch. 2-0, make Downs throw a strike, trying to get on base.
Jackson waiting on deck, top of the order. 1-1 game, bottom of the 8th. And the 2-1. Into right center field. That'll get down. Base hit. Omar taking the turn. He's going for 2, and he is in there with a double. Pinch hit, 2-base hit for Infante.
Omar Infante 0 for 7 against Downs before that at bat, so he was due. And he gets himself an 88-mile-per-hour fastball outside, hits it into right center field, and now standing in scoring position.
Go-ahead run is at second base. Fourteenth double of the year for Infante. Jackson now trying to get him in. That breaks the string of 12 in a row retired by Angels pitching. And only the 5th hit for Detroit in this game. Strike 1 on Jackson. AJ in the ball game, a walk. 0 for 2 otherwise. Benoit has been throwing, but he's watching the activity right now. That's going to get away from Conger. He can't find it. Infante will get to 3rd. They're going to say it hit him now, and so Omar will go back to 2nd.
Great opportunity for the Tigers to put a run on the board here and win it.
Got him in the back foot. Yep. That's going to be it for Downs. He will depart. They go back to the bullpen. We step aside. Here in the 8th inning, Mike Trout 7 for 15 in the series with 5 RBIs. Cabrera has a 12-game hitting streak, extended that today. And Doug Fister, the first Tigers pitcher besides Scherzer with at least 7 innings on this homestand. And Fister was really good today, giving up just the 1 run. Now Michael Kahn will have to deal with the Tiger lineup here. Strong part of the lineup with 2 men on.
Kahn has pitched in both games of the series. He's got a good arm, anywhere from 92 to 96 with his fastball, also a slider. Very few changeups for Kahn.
Infante pinch hit double. He's at second. Jackson hit by a pitch. He's at first. Torre is 0 for 3. Strike 1 on the outer edge.
(13 of 16), 81% inherited runners stranded by Kahn, so he appears to be very comfortable in these situations.
Prior to this year, had not appeared in a big league game since July of 2011. He missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. Torre batting .303, trying to deliver the go-ahead run here in the 8th. Fouled straight back.
Good fastball to hit there by Torre. 94. Right down the middle.
Mike Butcher is on the phone. In touch with his bullpen. They'll start to stir again. Swing and a miss. He got Torre to chase. Struck him out, and there are 2 gone now for Cabrera.
Told you Kahn very comfortable when he is given runners that are in scoring position. He goes after Torre with lots of fastballs, 3 of them as a matter of fact. Torre swung right through 94, fouled right back, and he came back with another one to finish him off.
Now Cabrera. A double for 3 in this game. Cabrera lined one to the left fielder that Shuck made a diving play on. That was his last at bat. Ball 1 outside. He's only seen him a couple of times. The one hit he has, a homer.
Conger going out to relay the message that Mike Scioscia just sent him to give to Kahn about this situation. They got a left-hander warming up. Prince struggling, swinging the bat. If they walk Miguel Cabrera here, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Roth, the left-hander, warming up. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cabrera. .485 for Miguel with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss again. 1-2. 95 miles an hour up at the belt.
He's got a lot of confidence in that fastball. He has thrown 7 pitches, 4 to Torrey, 3 to Miggy, 1 breaking ball to Miggy, the rest heaters.
High and outside. 2-2. Cabrera would not chase after that one. Kahn has not allowed a run in 21 of his last 23 appearances. There's Fielder waiting on deck. Swing and a miss to strike him out, and Kahn comes out of the bullpen to strike out Hunter and Cabrera. Tigers strand 2. Let's go to the 9th. Right. 1-1 game as we go to the 9th. And the Tigers now will try and get this thing to the bottom of the 9th inning, all tied up. We've got a new pitcher for the Tigers, and that would be Joaquin Benoit.
Man, 30 games so far this year for Joaquin. 2-0, 2.01 ERA, 37 strikeouts against 9 walks. He is having another sensational year pitching out of that bullpen for the Tigers.
So Benoit's going to have to face Hamilton, then Callaspo and Hopp. They are due up. Omar Infante will stay in the game to play second base. Hamilton has had 0 success in limited duty against Benoit. 4 appearances, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, don't make that first pitch too inviting to Josh Hamilton.
There's a strike called. 0-1 on Hamilton, batting .216 now. He's 1 for 3 in this game. And he came around to score their only run. The 0-1 pitch. Big swing there by Hamilton. 0-2. Albuquerque came on to pitch the 8th, gave up a walk but no damage, and now Benoit here in the 9th in relief of Doug Fisker. Good to see Doug get back on track after that bumpy outing his last time out.
Pitched very well.
He'd given up 6 runs in that start against Boston, just 1 run here today. And the 0-2. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tigers don't score very many runs for Fisker when he's on the mound. Averaging over 3 runs a game for Doug.
Bounce again. Pena lost his footing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Callaspo. And the 2-2. Outside, and now we've gone full 3-2 on Josh Hamilton. Hamilton's had 5 hits in the series. Trying to get something started here in the 9th. Ground ball first base side, fielded by Prince. 1 out. We keep Hamilton off the bases. That'll bring up Callaspo. One for 3 for Callaspo. Had a single back in the 4th inning, which was part of that inning in which they got 1 run on 3 hits. Strike 1 on the outer edge. First appearance for Benoit since the game on the 23rd against Boston. Little pop up, shallow left center field. Dirks on the run, can't get there. It drops in, a base hit. Looping single to left. That'll be the 8th hit now for the Angels.
Here comes Peter Bourjos. The speedy leadoff hitter for the Los Angeles Angels. Pinch running for Callaspo.
Here's Brad Hopp. Ball 1 high and away. Pena, from wondering, has thrown out 5. 17 have stolen successfully against him. That's just about 23%.
If he's going to throw Bourjos out, who has 4 steals this year and hasn't been caught, as we look at his career percentages, Benoit's going to have to give him time to throw.
Joaquin will do everything he can to try and keep Bourjos close at first base. He represents the go-ahead run. Hopp has a single, a walk, and an RBI. Strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Hopp was hitting over 300 at Salt Lake when he was called up in early June. And the 1-1. Strike called. 1-2 on Hawk. Borges leading. And the 1-2 is just off the plate. Oh, look at Benoit. Ooh, that was close. But clearly outside.
So far, very nice job by Benoit. And Borges has not been able to get a good read on when he's going to deliver the ball to home plate, therefore has not been able to get a jump that would satisfy him in trying to steal second.
Runner bluffs, and now it's gone 3-2 on Haw.
Pena almost came out of his crouch too soon there, anticipating that Borges would run. Got to be careful to make sure you stay there long enough to give the umpire time to call it a strike if it's a strike. Look how quickly he vacates his position here.
I don't know if that was a bluff or if Borges just didn't have good footing and he put the brakes on trying to go.
He's going now, though.
Yep, 3-2. So Benoit will bluff him back.
Benoit may as well throw a changeup here. Go for the strikeout. A good fading changeup that Benoit features would get that strikeout.
Runner goes on 3-2 and it's fouled back out of play.
Came with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Benoit came to spring training in outstanding shape this year, understanding that there would be no Valverde and they were going to try Rondon as the closer. He knew if Rondon failed, he would be the guy. Very first pitch Benoit threw in spring training in Lakeland, Florida was 95 miles an hour. He was ready to go.
And has done really good work this year.
Free agent year also for Joaquin.
Borges on the move again, and it's fouled away again. Brad Hupp in battle mode right now. 3-2, 1 out, 1 on, 1-1. We play in the ninth. 7 pitches so far in this at bat. And he walked him. That's going to put 2 halos aboard. Hupp is able to work the walk, his second base on balls in this ball game.
That is only the 10th batter that Joaquin has walked this year. He usually throws lots of strikes.
And Conger will hit. He's 1 for 3. Tigers had 2 on with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, but Kahn came out of the bullpen to strike out Hunter and Cabrera, and now Benoit with 2 on and 1 out facing Conger here. Conger takes ball 1. Tigers' only run came way back in the 2nd inning in this game today. The Angels got a run in the 4th. It's been tied ever since. Fister, Weaver, both outstanding here this afternoon. Here's the 1-0. In for a strike, 1-1. Conger this year with 11 RBIs. There is Phil Koch warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Fouled back out of play. Now it's 1-2 on Conger. Trying to deliver the go-ahead run here in the 9th inning in a 1-1 ball game. Swing and a miss. It gets away from Pena. Borges will get to third. Happ will get to second. There are 2 gone. The strikeout of Conger is the second out. But now runners at second and third.
And that changeup bounces right off the plate, scoots off the glove of Pena. And by the time he finds it, the runner is able to advance 90 feet.
Jeff Jones coming out of the Tiger dugout.
And Jeff wants to make sure that Joaquin and Pena are on the same page as far as how they want to accomplish getting Ibar out.
Ibar has faced Benoit 6 times hitless against him. Want to remind you that after this one is over, you know what's next. Tigers Live coming up. You'll hear from manager Jim Leyland, all the players as well. Be breaking down this ball game and showing you hopefully some happy highlights. Tigers Live immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Action in the bullpen for the Angels. They have a couple of guys warming up right now. Jepson. Tommy Hanson. That is Fiore, not Tommy Hanson. Frieri, rather. Oh, and 1 on Ibar. It's a ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ibar also one of those guys, if you're an infielder, in this case being Miguel Cabrera, you have to play in because he has a tremendous ability to bunt for a hit, even with 2 outs. Sometimes it's a very good play when you have that runner on third.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Benoit trying to wiggle out of a 9th inning jam here. 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Slap foul back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Erick Ibar.
Ibar may have helped Joaquin out with that last fastball at 95. It appeared to be up in the zone. Would have been ball 3.
Crowd trying to help out Benoit. It's another big gathering here today. 39,000 plus. And the 2-2 pitch. High. 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Ibar. 0 for 3 in this game for Ibar. And Benoit now has thrown 25 pitches here in the 9th.
11 of them have missed the strike zone.
Another foul back out of play. Ibar is going to be a pest in this situation here. 4 hits, 4 RBIs in the series. Delivered a big home run in last night's ball game, trying to deliver the go-ahead runs here this afternoon. And pitch number 27 coming up for Benoit. Little pop-up, foul ground, and nobody will get this one. Again, back in the seats about 2 rows back. So Ibar continues to work against Benoit. Tigers today got 7 really strong innings from the starter Fister. Then Albuquerque is scoreless 8th. Now Benoit here in the 9th. Borges, the runner at third. He's a pinch runner. Hoff is at second. And another one back out of play. Ibar doing his best to wear down Joaquin Benoit. 8 pitch at bat so far. And the winner of this battle might go a long way to deciding who wins this game. Phil Cope now just lurking about in the bullpen. J.B. Shuck, the leadoff man, is on deck. Benoit hasn't thrown this many pitches since middle of April when he threw 36. You got 28. Here comes number 29. And it's foul tipped into the glove of Pena, who holds on. Benoit wins that battle. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Prince leads it off. By Comerica Bank, part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Our Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, the official window company of Fox Sports Detroit. We are headed to the bottom of the 9th inning. We are tied at 1 run apiece. Joaquin Benoit finally won that battle with Eric Ibar. And the Angels stranded a pair. Now the Tigers will try and win it in walk-off fashion here against the new pitcher, and that would be Kevin Jepsen.
And Jepsen checks in with a .486 earned run average. 6 walks, 19 strikeouts, has not won a game, he's lost 2. Good fastball, 95 and above.
A couple of other changes defensively for the Angels. Mark Trumbo has entered the ball game. He'll play first base. And here's Fielder to start things off. There's a strike called. Fielder, Martinez, Peralta. Prince 0 for 3 with a pop-up in this game. A long ball away from walking this one off. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball. Shallow left field toward the line. Shuck. One gone. Brendan Harris is coming to the ball game now to play third base. Those are the changes. Trumbo at first, Harris at third. He's going to bring up Martinez, who was 1 for 5 against Jepson. Victor had a single, scored a run back in the second, which is the only Tigers run in this game so far. Walking a ground out his other 2 times. Ball 1 high. Only 5 Tigers hits in this game. They really haven't had too many left on base because of few opportunities, thanks to Jared Weaver, who retired 11 straight before departing this game.
Weaver kept him off balance all afternoon.
The 1-0 is outside. 2-0.
Fastball got up to 89 for Jared today. Had a good changeup, good curveball. Kept the ball out of the middle of the plate.
Now Martinez sitting in a good hitting count here. 2 balls, no strikes. Fly ball, center field, hit pretty well, but Trout's going to circle under it. Wind may have played with that one a little bit.
Angels defensively also playing very deep in the outfield. No doubles depth, which means that anything that is hit over their heads must leave the ballpark today.
So that'll bring up Peralta, who already has a walk-off home run on this homestand. He did it against the Boston Red Sox earlier on the homestand. He's faced Jepson 5 times, 1 for 5. Jepson has not allowed an earned run in almost 10 career innings now against the Tigers. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Johnny today 1 for 3. Singled in the second, which helped set up the Tigers' run. Line drive, base hit, right field. Winning run is on. Second hit of the ball game for Peralta. 2-out single.
Nice piece of hitting here by Peralta. 96 on the fastball out of the hand of Jepson. So you don't try to pull it. You simply hit the ball where it's pitched. He does that and gets himself another single to count on to a really good year that Peralta's having.
So here's Andy Dirks. for 3. Tough day for Dirks. All strikeouts. And he takes the ball outside. 1-0.
Mike Scioscia, if he wanted to, he really could play his first baseman Trumbo right behind Peralta to give that first baseman more room should Andy Dirks hit something down in that direction. Johnny not a stolen base threat.
Strike called. 1-1 on Dirks. That Peralta single, just the 6th hit of the afternoon.
Trumbo also doing something that I haven't really noticed any other first baseman doing, and that's right on the bag. Usually the first basemen of Scioscia's clubs are in front of that first base bag when there's a runner on first base.
Dirks given time. Angels bullpen came into play today with an ERA of over 4, which was 11th in the league, 4.05, but they did the job last night.
Johnny Peralta, in case you're wondering, 2 of 4 in the stolen base department this season.
The 1-1 sliced back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dirks. Weaver, Downs, Kahn, and now Jepson. Ryan Pena lurking on deck. That'll get away. To the backstop it goes. Peralta thought about going to third, but he put on the brakes. Now a base hit gives you a chance to win it.
No doubt, wild pitch out of the hand of Jepson. No chance there for Conger.
Now Mike Butcher going to come out. The winning run has moved up to second base.
Andy Dirks has been tardy on the majority of the fastballs that he has gotten today. And Andy just needs to get back to that real short, compact swing where he simply drives the ball up the middle. Should Jepson throw him another one of those fastballs in the mid-90s?
Home plate umpire Paul Nart is out to break up the conversation. Chance for Dirks to win it with a base hit. 2-2 the count on Andy. Peralta at second with 2 outs. Now Jepson ready with a 2-2 pitch. High, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Pena waiting on deck. 49,496 the attendance today. Here's the 3-2, and it's fouled back out of play. Another one at 95 from Jepson. Jepson came out of the 8th inning in last night's ball game. Gave up a double. Pass ball, scored a run. Breaking ball popped in the air. Left field, Shuck coming over. He's under it, and the threat is over. No runs, a hit. They'll leave a runner at second. We go to the 10th. jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game, and Michael Kahn pitching for the third consecutive day. He has not been scored upon in 12 of his last 13 outings. Runners on first and second, and you have Hunter and you have Cabrera coming to the dish, and he punched them both out with a lot of fastballs. Outstanding job by Kahn.
Each team with some chances late in this game, but instead we'll go to the 10th. Phil Koch now will take it over for the Tigers out of the bullpen. And he's going to face the top of the lineup for the Halos. Shuck, Trout, and then Pujols. One run, 8 hits, no errors for the Angels. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Tigers.
Left-handers have been no problem this year for Phil. Right-handers, however, have hit him around a little bit. He must keep Shuck off the base paths.
Shuck is 0 for 4. He's put the ball on the ground 3 times, or make it 4 times in this game.
Finally slowed him down today. He was having a pretty good series.
5 hits in the first 2 games in the series for Shuck, but nothing going on today to this point. Two balls, no strikes on J.B. Shuck. Albuquerque in the 8th, Benoit in the 9th, Koch in the 10th. This one to be decided by the bullpens. Here's the 2-0. 2-1 on Shuck. Fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shuck was an all-star 3 times in the minor leagues. He came over from the Houston system. He's seen a lot of action in this series. Starting all 3 games. Flared foul, back out of play.
This is now the 10th extra inning game the Tigers have played this year. And they are 2-7 in the previous 9.
They just have not fared well in bonus innings. 3 and 5 for the Angels. Here's the 2-2 again. Right back up the middle on the ground and through out of the reach of Infante.
And wouldn't you know it?
So Shuck, who was 0 for 4, is now 1 for 5, and that's going to bring up Mike Trout.
Interesting decision here for Mike Scioscia. Does he bunt Mike Trout or does he let him swing away?
Trout with 3 hits in this game. Does Trout have a sacrifice this year?
Nope.
I would think he's up there bunting. Cabrera back at 3rd. Shuck the go-ahead run at 1st. And Trout lines one back out of play. 0-1. 94 from Koch on that last pitch. Trout 3 more hits today, 2 singles and a double. Dino Ebel running through a series of signs.
Bunting should be part of his game.
Yeah, he's got the speed.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's such a dynamic offensive player, though. Bunting for base hits probably, but for sacrifices, I don't know that he's been called on to do that all that much. He has 0 career sacrifices.
Cabrera still back at third. Prince holding the runner at first. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Trout.
I think you more so think about bunting him versus hitting into a double play this late in the game when you have a chance to win it. But then you also factor in, if you vacate first base, do they walk Pujols? They might.
For Trout in this series, 7 hits, 5 RBIs. Tigers, for the most part, have not had an answer from Mike Trout. Here's the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nine hits for the Angels, 6 for the Tigers. There's Pujols on deck. More action in the Tigers bullpen. Luke Pecconin warming up.
And due to the fact that Koch has such poor numbers against right-handers this year, Pecconin might come in to face Pujols.
Way inside, and Trout had to dance out of the way. 2-2. Pujols and then Kendrick, 3 and 4 in the Angels lineup. They've gotten the leadoff man on here in the 10th. Angels trying to sweep this series and the season series. Two and 2 on Trout. And there's a base hit to right field. Shuck is on his way to third base, and he is in there standing up, and Mike Trout has his 4th hit in this game.
The previous pitch was a fastball at the feet of Trout, trying to make him uncomfortable, which Phil Koch threw, and then he came back with another pitch, and he hits a solid single the opposite way. We're going to make it our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. They have not been able to do anything with this young man in this series, and they got a limo wait for him to get him out of town, get him to the airport, get him on his way out of here.
8th hit of the series for Trout.
And some of his hits have been on pitches that have been way down and out of the strike zone. Great hand-eye coordination for Michael Trout.
So that's 10 hits now for the Angels. Infield coming in for the Tigers. Here's Pujols. Albert cuts and misses 0-1. They have held him to an 0-for-3 with a walk. Shuck and Trout with singles to start this inning. And Koch ready with the 0-1. Driven high in the air to center field. This will get the run in and maybe more. Jackson going back. Oh, what a catch. He dropped the ball. Trout is on his way to third, and Pujols will go into second. Jackson, a terrific running play. It appeared out in center, but it drops in, and the Angels have taken the lead. Boy, was that ball crushed.
Jackson ran a long way to get there, almost an over-the-shoulder catch. I don't know if the wall helped jar the baseball, but the fact of the matter is the Angels take the lead. They would have another run had Mike Trout gone at least to second base on this play. That ball right in the glove and out of the glove for Austin Jackson. Trout should have scored on that ball.
Nearly a spectacular play by Jackson, but Trout ends up only at third base. Now they're going to walk Kendrick and load the bases. Angels have the lead, and they have a golden opportunity to get more than just one. First hit of the day for Albert Pujols. That'll be his 49th RBI. The intentional walk will load the bases. So Kendrick will not get a chance to swing the bat. Instead, Hamilton will come up with the bases full. There's ball 4. Hamilton has a single and 4 at bats. Two runs on 11 hits now for the Angels. 1 run, 6 hits for the Tigers. Hamilton has seen Coke a little bit. 2 for 9 against him. 3 strikeouts. Infield in. Ball 1 to Hamilton. Bases loaded, 3 grand slams in his career, but only 236. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Trumbo waiting on deck. Lifted in the air to left. Dirk's backing up. Trout tagging up. He'll come in to score the run. Throw comes back into third. Sac fly for Hamilton. 2 runs in now for the Angels. Hamilton gets an RBI, his 28th. And here comes the skipper. Conan warming up. They've got Trumbo coming up next. That's going to be it for Phil Coke. He'll give up the baseball. And we will step aside. Another pitching change here at Comerica. Three to 1. Here is the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet tomorrow night as we head to St. Petersburg. It's going to be Alex Colomé for Tampa Bay, but it's going to be Max Scherzer for the Tigers.
And Max Scherzer has been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball this year, looking to go 12-0. That fastball has been consistent at 95 to 98 miles an hour. Only 24 walks for Max this year and 122 strikeouts. That is 5-1, which is incredible. 2-1 is good in that department.
So it'll be Luke Pekkonen now here in the 10th inning.
And Pekkonen looking for the ground ball. The Angels have hit into more double plays than anybody in baseball this year, 82 of those, and Trumbo has grounded into quite a few of those himself.
First at bat for Trumbo, who came on as a defensive replacement. 2 on, 1 out, 2 runs in. Big swing there by Trumbo, 0-1.
Trumbo a little tardy on that 93-mile-per-hour fastball out of the hand of Pekkonen. But be careful. This guy's got a lot of sock in that bat. Nice 17 homers, 50 driven in for Trumbo. He gets overshadowed a lot by some of the other players on his squad.
Agreed.
He had a good year last year.
Yeah. Good
rookie year. Having another good year. But you don't talk about him that much because the guy in center field gets all the attention.
Guy in right field's got a lot of attention too, although for the opposite reasons. Hamilton, you got Pujols on the team. A lot of big names. Trumbo just kind of fits in. The 1-1 is skied in the air to center. Not very deep. Jackson cruising over. He'll make the catch. Trumbo retired. So Pekkonen now has one more out to get. Brendan Harris will bat. His first AB of the game after also taking over defensively. Pekkonen trying to keep it a 2-run game. Pena and Fonte Jackson, the hitters, due up for Detroit when we get to the bottom of the 10th. Ernesto Frieri warming up. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Harris. Phil Koch started the inning, gave up the leadoff single to Shuck. That opened the door, and then a base hit by Trout put runners at first and third. Bouncing ball right side of the infield. Prince will feed Pekkonen covering, and that will end the inning. 2 runs in, and we go to the bottom of the 10th. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Don't forget tomorrow, the probables. It'll be Alex Colomé and Max Scherzer. Coverage starts at 6 with Tigers Live. Tigers opening up that series against the Tampa Bay Rays. That'll start the long road trip. We've got a new pitcher now for the Los Angeles Angels. It is Ernesto Frieri.
He closed out last night's game, getting his 18th save of the year. He's blown a couple. Earned run average at 321. 19 walks for Frieri. 49 strikeouts.
It'll be Brian Pena to start things off, then Omar Infante, and then Austin Jackson. Tigers down by a pair. Pena had an RBI single back in the second, the only Tiger run of this game. They got a terrific effort tonight from Doug Fister, but have not been able to back him with any offense. 1 run, 6 hits for Detroit. As Frieri goes to work, and he delivers a strike. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Frieri came on and got the final 3 outs of last night's ball game, pitching the 9th inning. It's fouled back out of play. 1-2 on Brian Pena. Jepson came on in the 9th. Gave up a hit, no damage. Tigers got the winning run to second base, but couldn't get him in. And then a 2 spot on the top of the 10th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brian Pena. There's Omar waiting on deck. Ground ball, base hit left field. Pena gets it going with a leadoff single in the 10th. His second hit this afternoon.
Balls outside. Pena simply goes with it. Apparently, according to Mr. Fox-Tracks, it was off the plate. And he still gets a single right past Ibar, the shortstop.
So here is Infante. Get cloudy and overcast at the ballpark here today, and the lights have yet to be turned on here at the yard. And it's popped up left side of the infield. Harris at third, and that's a big out for Frieri. 1 gone. Now Jackson. AJ hit by a pitch in the 8th. Tigers had a couple of chances late in this game. In the 8th inning, they had 2 men on, 1 out, but then Kahn came out of the bullpen and got the 2 biggest outs, I think, right in this game.
He did the same thing last night as well, punching out Torrey Hunter.
And then he struck out Cabrera in the 8th inning today.
That's why managers love to have those guys late in games that can miss some bats. And in this series, Scioscia's bullpen corps, they have done that. Their bullpen has been locked down in the series.
Here's the 1-0. Ball high. 2 balls, no strikes on Jackson. Pena leading it off with a single. He's at first base with 1 out. 7th Tigers hit today. Here's a 2-0 pitch. And it's low, 3-0. And Friere now one pitch away from putting the tying run on. '18 saves so far this year for Friere. That's a strike, 3-1. Trying to get Miguel Cabrera to the plate in this inning. That would be a good thing. The 3-1. Fly ball. Right field, not deep. Hamilton coming in. And there are 2 outs. It's going to all be up to Torrey Hunter here. Hunter has seen Friere a couple of times, 0 for 2 against him with a strikeout. Torrey, in fact, grounded out to end the ball game last night against Friere. And he is the last hope now for Detroit here in the 10th inning. Leadoff single by Pena, but he's still there. Trying to get Cabrera to the dish. He's waiting on deck. There goes the runner. Uncontested. Strike called on Hunter. No steal there for Pena. Defensive indifference. Conger runs out there. Oh, and 1 on Torrey. Ground ball to second should do it. Kendrick has the hop, and the Angels sweep the Tigers not only in this series but the season series.
They flat out outplayed the Tigers the last 3 days in every facet of the game.
In large part to Mike Trout, who was 8 for 16 in the series. Angels celebrating a 3-1 win. We'll be back.